It looks like it is going live.
Oh, awesome. So you've got your spiritual events thing up there?
I'll just get out. Yep, you're live.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Great. So I just need to get on my phone. Hello, everybody. Let me just get on here for a second.
I'm just going to make you a host now so I can leave.
Okay. Hopefully it stays on.
Yep. I'll let you know. I'll send you a message.
Okay. Awesome.
Bye.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Energy.
I'm just going to make you a host now so I can leave.
Okay, hopefully it stays on. Let's turn that volume off. All right. Let's get all the technologies good. All right. So hello. Hey, Saskia. All right. So this is the Wednesday night show, and I'm joined tonight with a beautiful friend of mine, Jonita Francis. I'm so excited to have her here. Hey, Jonita, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So, Jonita, we're going to have a little chat about stuff that we really love talking about.
Our favorite topics.
Absolutely. And for everybody who's tuning in, thank you. We've got quite a few on, by the way. If you've got any questions for Jonita, just type them in, and I will let Jonita know, and we will answer them for you. But Jonita, I want to start with you. And when did you first know that you had these amazing gifts, intuitive gifts, connected gifts? I don't like to really say, well, I could say spiritual gifts, but it's more than that. So when did you first kind of unravel?
Unravel. I don't remember a time when I wasn't unraveled.
Yeah.
So like most people in my age bracket, we didn't necessarily have a wonderful childhood. And the humans that I had around me perhaps weren't as nurturing as they could have been. So I had spirit, and I relied heavily on spirit to guide me, to nurture me. Everything in my life was all about spirit. I was actually very surprised that other people couldn't see them and hold conversations with them quite the way I could. So it's always been with me, always.
That's always just been normal, and it's just
like,
well, why can't you see that group of people there?
Yeah. And then look, when you're little, a lot of it gets passed off as having imaginary friends.
Yeah.
But my imaginary friends were quite cheeky, and they often told me little things about the adults around me that were perhaps not as supportive as they could have been. So those cheeky spirits would tell me all sorts of things about their childhood, which would probably get me in more trouble than I could post stick at. But it certainly was a great party trick for some people to pull out and put me on display. So there was a little time in my life where I kept it very quiet, and I just listened to spirit, and I didn't listen to anybody else. And look, they were really peaceful times because it propelled my growth as an individual and my ability to understand what was going on around me exponentially. So don't always relate too well to the humans, if I'm honest. I have a very different way about me sometimes. I'm an acquired taste, we'll put it that way.
And I love how you call, regular work muggles work, the muggles job. I love that because it's just so much fun, and it really just kind of shows that it's you're just on a different energy level.
Completely off the planet, absolutely. Yeah. So I started studying astrology about 4 years ago, 2014, January 2014, and I met this wonderful man, and he said to me, "You're not from around here," and he pulled my natal chart apart, and I really was not from around here. So there's lots of mutual receptions. I have a Pisces moon in the 12th house, so a double whammy on my moon, which is well aspected, which means that I was always going to talk to spirit. I was just very fortunate to start very early.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And you've embraced it, because when you said about like even just the invisible friends, a lot of that kind of gets not beaten out of us, but it gets dismissed when we're younger. And, quite a few of the clients I'm working with lately, are saying, you know, well, I'm just really tuning into to my spirituality. And I'm like, yeah, no, because I've got, you know, like their deceased parents in my ear saying, no, that she's always had it. She just kind of got, you know, you go to school and you don't want to talk about it. Or you do have those parents who say, it's the invisible friends aren't real, stop talking about it, and you kind of just forget it. And but there's always something in you that is calling that back. There's always something. So yeah, so that's, you know, and embracing it just allows the greater connection.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's always a little bit of, I suppose, when I teach other people how to tap into it and all the different things, and you know, and obviously tinnitus is a real thing, but a lot of people that are starting to tune their hearing and their inner ear, we'll call it, but not the spiritual inner ear, when they start to tune that in, it comes across as like a tinnitus. So we get ourselves off to the doctors and we treat the tinnitus, and it doesn't go away because it's not tinnitus. So there's lots of things that we don't understand and how we tap into our gifts. And so I really see, because I was born like this, I don't really know anything else. So I just teach it exactly how I've embraced it and what happens for me. And I find that that's probably the easiest, less confusing way, because it actually is truly my life. It's not something I've learned from somebody else.
Absolutely, absolutely. And along with what you were saying with the tinnitus, it's also eyes as well. And my ears have been hurting lately, but I've also had really stinging eyes. And I just know that I'm shedding another layer. And, you know, that really is, when you're working with people, I know that you really want to go deeper and you know, not just kind of look at the surface stuff, but, you know, look at what's happening underneath and really help people to move forward. So, you know, that's really where your passion lies. So talk to us about, you just know so many things, right? You've just studied so many things, but tell us what your greatest passion is when you're working with your clients. What is the thing that really sets your heart on fire?
Well, I have a motto that I won't give you a fish, I will teach you how to fish.
Okay.
So, part of my readings, if you come to me and you say, is Ben going to leave me? I don't give a hoot about Ben, or whether he's going to leave you, or whether he's going to stay. I care about you, your sanity, your boundaries, your healthy quality way of life.
Yeah.
And when we get to the bottom of that, we look at trapped emotions and we look at meridian points and all those beautiful things that work with heart walls that allow us to open ourselves up and be that vulnerable person and really put our foot down. And vulnerability is being able to be tough enough to say what's on our mind as well. It's not necessarily that weak little person that we think it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So when we do that, and I teach people how to do that, Ben's got two choices. Ben can step up or Ben can step out. And it doesn't matter, because you're embracing who you're supposed to be in your core, and that's where I get my total kick. Yeah, I don't want to just do a reading for you. I want to help you shift that quality of life. So when you leave me and you go off and you start researching the inner recesses of your soul and different things, and I'll give you little tips on where you might, because I can see your gift. So I'll tell you, what about if you think about this as a direction? And people go off and do that. And I've been reading for a couple of ladies for over 15 years now, and they're still developing their gifts, because every time they come back to me every couple of years, we find something new that they've unraveled. Yeah. And that is just the greatest joy of my life.
That's magic, isn't it? It absolutely is magic. And directing people back to themselves, not the external. And I know I get, you know, I love that as well. And sometimes, you know, people can be a little bit shocked when they do ask that question, and you kind of say, well, you know, let's talk about how much you love yourself. And they're like, what? No, I want to talk about Ben.
Exactly. And they see, because we're taught that if we love ourselves, we're up ourselves. And that's not it. I mean, you know, and we're also taught, especially us light workers, that we shouldn't have any ego. But ego allows us to help more people. If we didn't have any ego, we wouldn't talk about ourselves. We wouldn't be able to do things like this that helps to embrace others, to learn about themselves. So ego can be really healthy. It's what you do with the tools that you're given, and that's what makes the difference.
Absolutely.
Not just food in moderation or Easter eggs. It's how we approach ourselves too.
Absolutely. So I've got a question here from, we've got Chris Marie is on. She says she's a white witch.
Lovely.
Who else are we on? Hey, Jenny. Okay, we've got, Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Hey, Bevy. So I've got
the lady who's a white witch.
Yep.
She's got a very unique set of skills, actually.
Okay, you tuning
I know that she identified as a white witch, but she's actually very clever when it comes to plants and herbs and aromatherapy. Okay.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because she's put a little green tree up as a emoticon.
Well, she's already onto it. She's not going to learn anything from me. Good on you. Well done.
Interesting. Is anything else coming in for her? Because she's still watching, I think.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Okay, so she has a business opportunity here for her as well. And the business opportunity is if she's not already learning about lotions and potions, then she probably needs to have a look at that. She's quite entrepreneurial. Her little square palms tell me that she's a natural born healer. So she's got a few things going on in her palms as well. And that beautiful heat that she gets, that she can sometimes get a bit cold in her fingertips. Yep. You can't bruise the flowers. So that's a perfect arrangement for aromatherapy. So she could quite easily go into that. Even that, help me, doTERRA oils. Sorry, that's how I call my spirits. Oh, okay. I don't do the normal namaste. Wait, come and help me. But doTERRA oils and being able to do your own blends is where you're really going to shine.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful news. I hope you're still on watching that, Chris Marie. That's beautiful. Really great advice. So now we've got Anne-Marie Wills has asked, how do you know which is the right inner voice? This is such a popular or a big question, isn't it? Because we get so many voices going in there.
Absolutely.
I always tell people it's the scariest one, like the one you don't want to do, the one that brings the fear up.
Yeah. Well, I taught a class a few years ago about fear, and what fear is to feel the emotion and release. FEAR. Feel emotion and release.
Okay.
We get caught in fear all the time that we get so caught up in the emotion that we can't release it, and it keeps us there, scared. So how to find the right inner voice? Okay, well, I cheat. I'll let you know straight off the bat. I cheat because if it's my voice, it's actually me and my subconscious or my conscious thoughts. If it's someone else's voice, and quite often, because when I have conversations with spirit, I will hear their voice. Now, even if they don't speak English, they will speak to me in fluent Italian, for example. I will hear it exactly how I'm supposed to interpret it. So I'll understand every word, even though I don't speak Italian. Okay. So the best way to do it is to ask yourself, quickest way when you're learning, because it is a little bit scary as well, because we're taught that if you hear voices you're crazy. Now, I've been crazy for a very long time, so I'm an expert on the crazy level. What you can do, put your hand over your throat, doesn't matter left or right, and that actually engages your throat chakra. And then you put your hand down here on your belly, because that engages your emotions, and you say, is this for my highest good? Okay. And if your throat closes over, that means no. If your tummy starts to churn and go nuts and you feel like you're either going to let air out somewhere or something else is going on, then that's your emotional self saying, no, there's something wrong. So it's kind of like you doing a muscle test. Okay. You can do that as many times a day as you like, but that would be my best way of teaching you how to differentiate between what's the right voice and what's the voice that you perhaps need to think about as though it's the fear-based voice. So it's your ego saying, oh, I'm a little bit scared. And your ego, poor ego, will keep you locked where it needs to keep you. Doesn't want you to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm doing a challenge at the moment on self-sabotage, and that's one of those voices as well.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm going to take this direction, and then the voice of self-sabotage comes in and says, no, you're not.
And you know how to circumnavigate that? So when you go, because it's fear, okay? And it's fear. So you've conditioned your body to crap your pants every time a challenge comes up. So what we do is we fob it off, or we talk ourselves out of it. So what I teach people is when you get that in, you count backwards from 5. So you think, oh, can I do this business idea? And before your ego, your poor ego, has a chance to go, no, you craving lunatic, you know, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You write it down in your journal and you move on.
Yeah.
Because that is a commitment to yourself. As soon as you write it down, you promised yourself to do something. That becomes your vision board.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you get around it. And you'll train your brain not to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, and it's practice, isn't it? Everything is a practice. We say, have you got a, spiritual practice? That's what it is. It's practicing it, doing it daily, doing something daily, like a meditation practice or a tuning into your inner voice practice.
Yeah.
So who else have we got here? Okay. Hello, Elaine. Okay, Annabelle. So we've got Sarah Marie Joyce. Would love to know if you have any insight for me. Sarah Marie Joyce. I'm actually sensing that Sarah, you've actually got a bit of a decision to make right now, and yes is the answer, but no is keeping you in fear. What are you feeling about that, Jonita?
Yeah, I'm seeing a crossroad.
Yeah.
And you know what? It doesn't matter if you choose left and 3 months down the track, you think you should have chosen right. You're going to make the perfect decision you've got with the information you have right now. And the universe will bring you back around and put you back on the path, okay? Yeah. Nothing. We've got free will, but it's predestined.
It's about trust, isn't it? It's really about trust. And a lot of people really seize up when it comes to decisions because they think, oh, that's, in cement then and I can't change it. But you can make a decision and, as you say, go one path and change that again. Nothing's set in stone. So, yeah. So Rachel Norell Rich says your conviction is infectious. That absolutely describes you.
Excellent.
That's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
So we've got Heather Ellis, and she says she's been dreaming of dead family members.
Yeah, she had. They're coming to her though. They are coming to you, darling. Yeah, because you're not getting the little subtle hints that they're sending you. So now they're taking you in dream state. Because
in dream state, you have no resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're more in your spirit. So when I astral travel, and I do it, I used to do it as a child because I was frightened of what was going on around me. So I'd get out of my body so you couldn't hurt it.
Yeah.
So in dream state, your spirit is kind of like, not necessarily in limbo, but it's at a restful state. So people are more receptive to getting, that's where your subconscious can play with you. So that's when spirit also comes in and has a chat. But they are actually your family members. They have been trying to make, they're bringing a neighbour with them too. So what I mean by a neighbour is somebody actually lived next door to somebody and they had a close relationship, and that man is coming as well. So basically party time at your house, my love. But they're just lovely. They're there because they want to let you know that you're opening up to a few different things and that you should embrace it and not be frightened of it, which is why family is coming first.
Absolutely. So yeah, so don't be frightened of it. So that was Sarah Marie, wasn't it? Let me have a look here. It's a bit difficult on the phone.
It is, isn't it?
It is. So how can I get this is Melissa Turnock. How can I get my message out, helping the high frequency women ground and earth into the 3D and understand the importance of embodiment and clearing the channels?
Oh, I love that question. I love that question because I don't bloody ground ever. I'm a high frequency. I don't ground. I don't smudge myself.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, weren't we? And you're like, I don't ground myself, I don't sage, I don't do this, that, nothing. So
nothing. I'm just so out there. What they can do is if they're living, I'm not going to pick on the secret, but we'll pick on the secret, okay? Which is we get so caught in manifesting what's coming that we forget to enjoy and be grateful for the things that we've got right now. So if what you're meaning is to get them to be present in this moment, then I would get them to do things where they can't think about anything else. So if you want them to ground and they're sporty, get them to go and lift weights. If you want them to ground and they're creative, or they're Pisces, or they're, you know, that beautiful energy where music helps them ground and they can't think about anything else, and they only want to listen to the song or sing along to the song, and they're totally in that moment right now, not thinking about everybody else, that's how you get them to ground. But you can't shift their frequency because they're vibrating at a different rate already. And I don't have a lot of human healing because I'm out there with the pixies. I intend to stay out there with the pixies, and I don't want any earthbound change in my frequency.
Yeah.
It throws them for 6. And if they're higher frequencies and you really want to help them, find out how they meditate as an individual and then create a program to support that.
Yeah. I'm a music girl. I mean, I just love not radio kind of music, but I love certain beats, you know, certain tones, and certain, like piano just sends me, you know, out of my mind, which is what you're saying about the grounding. And I know that exercise and going to the gym is very important for you as well, and that really sets you up for the day, doesn't it? And really centers you, because I mean, grounding is really about being centered.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Being present in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, Anne-Marie Willis says, thank you. You're spot on. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Hey, Debbie. Oh, Tracy Vock. I found a men's ring on the ground near my letterbox today. Any idea what this message means? That's an interesting one.
It could mean anything. It could mean that it's colder weather and it fell off his finger.
I'm sensing that it's really quite a thick one of gold. Do you know what I'm being told? Just to pop it on top of your letterbox and he'll come back for it.
Yeah, leave it don't leave it on the ground, because try to they've just told, they, meaning dead people in my house, have just told me that you should keep it either just in the letterbox with the lid slightly down. Just keep it out of the bird vision, because birdies will like the prettiness of it. Like, they'll pick up on the colours. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a pure accident. Yeah. But when you if you're not already married and you start to hear the wedding bells, then you know that to look out.
So just wait. That person will probably come back and try to find it. So before, Cindy Fay says she's out there with the pixies too. Go, Cindy. Hey, Siobhan. Okay, so
That's a beautiful energy.
Anything for my gifts, please. So Tracy, anything for my gifts? What are you picking up about Tracy's gifts? I feel she's quite claircognizant, but doesn't trust herself.
Yeah, what I'm getting shown is that she doesn't back herself. So someone's giving her a giant push in the back because they want her to start listening to her skill. Spirit won't lie. They're not allowed to bullshit you ever. So if Spirit tells me, like, for example, you see a lot of people saying, here's a red rose. Yeah. I have never in my life had that. I've had a couple of people say, give her a daisy or wet the bed, but it was significant for the person I was reading for. Yeah. But I don't change a single word of what somebody tells me in spirit form. Yes. If they say punch her in the arm and tell her, good on you, kid, that is exactly what I do. So I don't change what they're telling me. I tell them exactly what's going on. I tell them exactly what I've been told. And you need to do the same for yourself, because they won't lead you up the garden path. If you try to interpret what they're saying, even if they're giving you pictures, which I know they sometimes do, then you've got to describe the picture. Don't change it, because it's very significant for the person that you're reading for. And
when you first start doing that, it can be scary, because sometimes I'll still say that to myself, and I'm like, I'm not saying that. You're not going to make me say that. Are you serious? And now sometimes I'll just say, look, you're just going to think this is really weird, but blah, blah, blah. And they go, oh, I know exactly what it means. So it is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So she says,
lady a long time ago when I was in my very early 20s, and she was in her 40s, and she was a manager of a retail store. And I walked in and I said, congratulations, and looked at her belly. She abused the living hell out of me right there on the spot and said, what sort of sick game was this? Because she'd been trying for IVF for a long time and babies never happened for her. I gave her my business card and I told her to ring me when she confirmed the pregnancy. And she did about 4 or 5 weeks later. And she could not believe that it was a natural pregnancy. So I could have gone, oh shit, why did Spirit do that to me? But I didn't. I said, you know what? I'm sorry, but Spirit doesn't lie.
Yeah.
And I've always backed them.
Yeah. Do you does Spirit often prompt you to give messages to strangers?
If they do, absolutely. Because it's like a personnel file. And I was explaining this because everybody at my Muggles job knows what I do in my passion job.
At your Muggles job. I still love that.
It's great, isn't it? It's great. We don't have a Harry, unfortunately, but we need to employ one. So what I said to them is like a personnel file. So if somebody from HR comes to me and says, Bob's doing this and it's my job to fix it, then I've been given permission to have a look at his file. Yep. If Bob comes to me and says, I've been talking about this for 6 months, Bob's given me permission to look at his file. What we do is exactly the same thing. If Trish said to me, can you please look in my file and tell me all about this? That's what I would do. But if Trish said to me, can you look in my next door neighbour's file because he's driving me crazy, I'll say, Trish, we need to look in your file before we worry about your neighbours. If your neighbour wants me to look in his file, your neighbour needs to call me. So it's very much a privacy thing. But if I'm walking along the street, and it has happened with pregnancies in particular, or somebody's walking a dog and their dog's got some arthritis problems, Spirit will show me. I will pass that message on because it's not up to me to censor it. I can be careful how I say it, but I'll get prompted by Spirit to go gently. If they say to me, go gently, I know that I need to use my human words to describe what I need to get the message across. Across to them so they can understand that they need to go and get that lump in their left breast checked. Yes. Or that they need to go and have a look at something else that's going on in their body. So absolutely, I would never, ever hold back. I may articulate it differently because it's an unwarranted conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite confronting to have some crazy lady talking to Spirit and then coming up and telling you that you need to go and have your bloods test.
Yeah, you've kind of got to invite the conversation, don't you? And say, are you open to a message or something like that to allow them to say yes or no? Have you ever had someone that's really just closed off and they're just like, swearing at you and walking off and you're like, bye, or it's true, but listen to me?
Only that lady years ago with the pregnancy, but that was pure emotion for her. That was just pure emotion. It's distraught, distressing, because I was faced with a similar scenario when I worked for the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority in another Muggles job. And that lady there and her husband had been trying for children for years, and I said, before you turn 42 you'll have your first and then you'll have another one, and that's exactly what happened to her. So it's never had it too many times go badly. I
think
my
most people
husband would disagree with you.
Most people are just fascinated and they're just like, wow, okay, a message for me, whether they believe it or not, they're still fascinated. And
and I always give them a business card so they know that I'm not just trying to be silly or if they need any feedback. And if they do say, hey, you said this to me in the street and I just need a bit more information, I never charge them because Spirit has asked me to help and asked me to be here, and that's what I'm going to do. So
Absolutely, and I feel the same. And I mean, that's being of service, and and then we're also of service in our business, and that's the way it is. So, and that goes for any skill too, not just in the spiritual world. I mean, if you're of service to people in other ways, I know when I was in the nail industry, I would give people advice on that, right, outside of hours as well. So you do it when you're being called to do it. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how are we going for time here, Janita? I know you get up very early. Do you want to answer a few more questions? What do you want to do? Oh, firstly, I'll just let everybody know where they can connect with you, and I'll pop it in the comments here. What's the best place for people to connect with you?
I have a public image on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah. Let me just see if I can tag you on here. Is that under Jonita or?
It's under Insights by Janita.
Ah, okay. Let me see if I can type that in. Insights by Jonita. Okay. Yep. No. Okay. I'll get it done while we're talking. So Insights by Jonita. Where else can people connect with you?
I have a website.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah.
So www.
Yeah.
.insightsbyjonita.
Yeah.
.com.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's got my email address on it as well. Is for my registered business is the Warrior Movement. And that's because I like people to move towards being the warrior that they are.
Yeah, I heard an interesting, this might be a nice thing to ask you actually. I'm just typing in your website here for everybody, Insights by Jonita. I heard something interesting about the word warrior. Okay, guys, I've got Janita's links up there in the comments if you want to connect with her. Warrior sometimes takes on people kind of take on an energy of, of war or fighting. Oh, got a cute little gift there. Interesting. Focus. Yeah, so sometimes people kind of take on that, fighting kind of energy with that word warrior, but the warrior is the mastery of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mastery of your mind. And, we're all being called to be warriors in this lifetime, no matter what life we're living. We're called here as a human to be warriors of our mind.
Absolutely. I've got a North Node in Libra in the 7th house, and that's called the warrior placement. So it's about being a champion of myself, and understanding myself to the degree that I'm actually able to use those gifts to help other people. And that's not just spiritually, that's also by picking some really doozy ex-partners to teach me all sorts of lessons.
Absolutely.
And by being honest and authentic, it's just the more I learn about me and the more I share, and I'll quite openly share about some of the lessons that I've had in my life. And I started, I think I was the original Me Too movement, to be honest, but for different reasons, because the more you embrace, that you had a rough childhood, or that your first partner was just, what were you thinking? And your second partner, I must have been on crack for, and all those things. And you find that we're empowering each other, that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's okay. Like, I've been a medium my entire life, and I picked 3 idiots to marry. Now, those 3 idiots taught me wonderful lessons, perhaps on how not to behave, but they still taught me so much. So by me, instead of me thinking or talking to people about how wonderful my life has been, and it has been without challenge and all that stuff that we're programmed to be better than the next person. And by being really authentic and saying it's okay to pick the wrong people, it's okay to learn life's tough lessons and to be there, you're actually empowering people to say, you know what, let's talk about this. And the more we talk about it, the more warrior we become. So that's what my movement's all about.
Absolutely, because everybody's life here as a human is filled with experiences that are not always pleasant, and that's the whole growth experience. And it's really just it's a mind game. It truly is a mind game, and really overcoming that. And I just love your energy, and everybody here in the comments is just saying how inspirational you are, and just your energy, and and you know that you've got great energy, right? Because you're aware of it and you deliberately choose that.
Absolutely. Every day.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and everybody can choose that. And, I was saying to you before that, the energy for me has been a little bit funky today, and I've been quite emotional, but I didn't get caught up too much in it, because otherwise your mind takes over and everything that's ever gone wrong in your whole entire life becomes big, right?
Yeah, and it is. And, if we get out of bed in the morning and we kick our toes, and the first thing we think is, great, now the rest of the day is going to be like that, we actually set ourselves up for fail. But if we say, damn, I kicked my toe, but I still have another 9, your whole mindset shifts.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
That's right. Absolutely. You have to make it a bit of a game, and you have to make it fun. Bevy, I love the mindset behind the worry movement. Yeah, absolutely. So that's Bevy Seaver says, I love the mindset behind the warrior movement. Samantha Potter, I would love a message, please. What do we got for Samantha?
Oh, what sort of messages does she want? Can she sit still would be the first message. She's going places. She's going places, absolutely. But the problem is that sometimes she can want to go places so much that she doesn't go anywhere fast.
Oh, indecision. Indecision. Interesting.
So break them down into manageable chunks would be the first thing that I would say to you. And once you get them into manageable chunks, then plan how you're going to deal with the manageable chunks. And that would be less overwhelming for you, much easier for you to break it down and to get through things that you want to get through, so you don't finish up still sitting on the couch at 3 o'clock and nothing's been done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might be something in that for me too.
There always is, isn't there? There always is. Actually, for everybody listening, you're actually here serving us as well. Everyone who's asking questions, you're here serving us as well. So, very funky energy today. Siobhan, you felt it as well. Oh, Samantha Potter says spot on. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Let me see who else is kind of standing out here. Elizabeth Putu, any messages for me tonight, please, with a big love heart.
Right, Ballerina Tutu.
Elizabeth Putu.
Oh, Putu. I thought Tutu. I've got these beautiful visions of this pink ballerina outfit in my mind.
Elizabeth Putu, any messages for me tonight, please? Are you sensing anything? I've got the feeling that Elizabeth is going for a new job and is wondering if it's the right one. So Elizabeth, if you are going for a career change or a new job, I think it's the right decision.
Yeah, there's a bit of a disconnect in her life. So when you tune into her energy, it's like that pause that's going on. So do I, don't I? Is this the right decision to make? A big fat yes came straight through, and she's got goosebumps right now because I just tuned into her energy. So she, just go for it, sweetheart. Back yourself. Everything will be all right. If you need to change industry just slightly, just say, for example, you're in IT and you do coding and you want to go to front of house and do telephone support, go for it. Back yourself. Now's the time to do that, and you're being propelled forward in a fast rate of knots. Just have some brass coherence about you and you'll be fine.
Wonderful. All right, you got time for a couple more? Do you want to do it?
Why not?
Yep. Sure. Is there anything else you want to talk about in regards to your work? People have got your links now, so they can go and visit you. So I've got a nice one here from Cindy. I had a spirit tell a patient of mine when in pathology to me. I had a spirit tell a patient of mine when in pathology to go buy me a book and Sorry, I just can't understand the sentence. To buy me a book and read it start to finish. She purchased the book and I read it all. Oh, I get it. Okay, so a spirit told one of her patients to go and get a book so that she could read it.
Okay, so the idea with the book is, read it from front to end, put it down, wait 6 months, do it again. You need to see tangible growth in what you're doing, and you don't always see that because they're tiny little baby steps, so you think you're not growing. You're also your worst critic when it comes to a lot of things as well, and you've got a bit of a balance between the science brain and spiritual brain, which can often be a push-pull. So when you put the book down and go back to it in 6-7 months, do it a month before your birthday perhaps, because then you're vibrating under a different personal year, give you a different perspective on things. Then start picking the book up at random spots and just reading where your eyes fall, because there's little messages in there for you.
Yeah.
It's all to do with nurturing as well, bit of self-nurturing.
Beautiful. All right, we've got John JD Dennis. Does Spirit say which course I should teach first, the co-creative one or the conscious body shaping one? I'm sensing the first one. What are you sensing?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not going to make any difference because you're going to do both anyway. You just want to know which way first.
Do the first. Yeah, absolutely.
You get more to kick out of the first one because it's going to ignite a bit of a passion in you, and then you'll want to do some more study because it's going to be like creative juices.
Yeah, and that will lead beautifully into the conscious body shaping.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, Tina Walters, I sensed the night before there was someone in the lounge room and the next day our dog died. Was it a past loved one or was I sensing something else? Or am I going crazy? You are not going crazy, Tina. You're definitely sensing someone. I don't know much about pets passing away. Do they have, human spirits coming to take them over or what happens there?
And then they rock back up in your readings, and quite often they'll come as well. I read for a lady the other day who wanted to know about her Ben. And I said, well, we don't care about Ben because Scooby-Doo just got through here. And she said, that's my Great Dane. He'd been hit by a car.
Oh.
So I do a lot with animals because I am animal mad. Like I would say hello to an animal way before I said hello to a human. But absolutely, there was a little dog that came through here before, a little bit shorter than a Labrador and dark in colour. So I don't know if that belongs to you, but that dog comes screaming through. And generally when someone's in a group environment like this and a dog has already come in, they're showing me that they're saying hi. So humans quite often come for animal spirit. And animals can sometimes come for humans as well, especially when late stage dementia, right before they're going to go into the next chapter. They will bring through their childhood animals, even horses. Because it's an affinity and it's a love. And don't even get me started on my whole idea on spirit emotions because we don't have enough time. Maybe that's another chat.
We'll have another chat about that. I'm fascinated now.
I dangled a little carrot. But yeah, animals absolutely come through, and there's just they are every bit as lovely as what they are before they pass. They're just beautiful, and I really love being able to tap into that and to describe what I'm seeing so people can say, yep, that's this dog, or there's somebody else's dog. So just and cats are a little bit standoffish even in spirit form. They'll walk through, they'll show their bum hole and they keep walking just like they do in real life. So it's great. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have a local stray cat that's decided to she owns me now.
I love that about cats. Yes.
Yeah, so she owns me now. So John says thank you. Perfect. Cindy says thank you. Tina says we had 2 pass, a Labrador and a blue heeler.
There we go.
In a few days. Thanks for the reading. Yeah.
You're welcome, darling.
There you go, Tina. Yeah, beautiful. Tony Coppins, do you have anything for me, please, to do with my business? Now, Tony's also a beautiful friend of mine, a psychic medium over in New Zealand. So, hey, Tony.
Nice one. Why am I hearing piccolos and flutes? Why am I hearing music when I hear this lady's voice?
That's interesting, isn't it? Well, she is kind of dancing and happy right now because her daughter's arriving for Easter.
It's really like, you know, when you hear, not like a normal flute, like the Native American flutes, the ones that go down, that really beautiful energy shifting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I just had spirit run through my house. Did you see that?
I was looking at the messages.
Okay. Someone went. So she's actually shifting at the moment too. So she's about to level up in technical term.
Level up, yep.
Yeah, and I think the flute is symbolic of her being able to just have some quiet time. And I know that she can do that, but sometimes she gets a bit chaotic like the rest of us because we're all crazy ladies.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think the flute is especially Native American, which is interesting. I don't know much about Maori culture other than the men are stunningly beautiful. But there's some sort of flute or musical instrument. I really think it's more related to Native American, and they actually mimic with their drums, they mimic the heartbeat of Mother Earth. So the flute might have something to do with that. It might be mimicking something. So maybe get her to, or if you're still listening, my love, maybe put on some guided meditation with Native American flute. And then, and then you'll be off doing your lucid dreaming.
Wonderful. All right, I'll see if she responds. So we've got John Philo. Anything for me about feeling and working with energy and ways to grow this?
Is he the theta healer that was coming through before? He's been around before, hasn't he? I think he was watching on the sidelines just a little while ago. He's the theta healer. So he's the THETA.
Yep.
Yeah, so he'll do a lot of stuff with the emotion code as well, the body code.
Okay.
Emotion. So he's a little bit deeper with his frequency levels.
Yeah.
I can feel him. He's got really nice energy, very strong energy. He needs to, let me have a little tap in. He just quietened down really quickly then. Okay, so he sees color in his aura, and he'll also be able to unblock. I'm not going to say trapped emotions, but he does something to be able to shift things along. Okay, so he's actually a natural healer, but he wants to have a little bit more confidence in how he's going to get that by study.
I'm feeling, I can feel his energy too.
Yeah, it's full on.
Yeah, it's really nurturing actually. Did that spirit that went through, that's got something to do with him as well? Maybe. Yeah. So, well, I hope that helped, John. And thank you for sharing your energy with us.
That was lovely.
Really nice. It's like a warm embrace.
Yeah, I was thinking, what's that on my back? Oh, Renna.
Oh, hello, Ren. First time here. Thank you. All right. The book, we were talking about the book before, Chant and Be Happy. Oh, what a beautiful book. Yeah, you definitely need to read that one twice.
Yeah. And it'll mean different things for you. It's like when you read Roald Dahl and you're in the 5th grade, and then you read it again when you're in the 9th grade. You see different things, you interpret things differently. That's what the book's all about. It's going to be a work in progress for you. It's not going to be a read the book, put it down.
Absolutely. Oh, you're welcome, John. John says thank you.
You're welcome.
So, all right. So we might just take one more. So we've got here's one from Cheryl. What sort of energy healer do you see me being? I'm currently using energy and working with it more and more. So this is from Cheryl Brownlee McSavany.
What a high vibration name.
Yeah.
High vibration name. Okay, as soon as you started saying her name, the green colors come through. So she's an ancient healer, so she can pretty much do whatever she wants to do. It's about backing herself. I wouldn't touch Reiki because Reiki can be a little bit low frequency stuff. She needs to be a little bit higher. So she's going to do Reiki just to settle down her nerves around it. Then she needs to start doing her own little voodoo. Now, own little voodoo, I'm a witch, so you know we do voodoo all the time, but we stop boiling children, so everyone can relax. But what she will do is intuitively know about stuff. Okay, so I know that Reiki has pretty rigid hand movements and ways of doing things to shift that energy, and that's great. But what this lady needs to do is put her own little slant on it, because what she can do and how she would channel that information coming through will be very, very clever for her to use. Also, I probably wouldn't waste my time on humans just yet, because her forte will be animals, big time.
Interesting. Well, I hope you're listening to that, Cheryl. So, yeah. I think she already knows, actually. Maybe she just needed some confirmation about that. Yeah. So
we do the same. I mean, if we're getting stuck on something, we do this for a living, but we still reach out to our trusted friends and say, hey, because, you know, you want something so bad. Sometimes it's great to manifest it, but sometimes you can also put a slant on things that may not necessarily be the case. So, you know.
Absolutely. And, you know, we all need confirmation of things sometimes, because we can get caught up in our own, you know, is it really true? Is it really happening? I need some confirmation. And, oh, you're welcome, Cheryl. So she says, thank you very much. Yeah. And that's correct. Yes. Of course.
It doesn't lie.
No, that's it. So, now, we've got people tuning in from all over the place and all over the globe, but you do a lot of things locally in the area as well, where you live, and also outside of where you live, and also can work with anybody globally. So, you know, when people go to your website, they'll be able to see what you've got on, and they can come and meet you in person if they're in the area, and also just connect with you.
Absolutely. So the best way is to shoot me through an email.
Yeah.
Because the beauty of working globally is all the different time slots.
Yes.
Shoot me through an email and I'll respond to you as quickly as I possibly can. That's generally the same day or when I wake up the next day.
Yeah.
That's the best way to get started, and then we can work out from there. Use Messenger, chat. There's all sorts of things that we can do to connect. I don't have to be in the same room with you as we did today.
Absolutely.
And I'd be thrilled to have a chat with anyone that wants to come through.
Beautiful. Anne-Marie Willis says that there's a male and female behind you with a white fluffy dog. Or it might be behind me. I don't know. I think it's behind you.
The white fluffy dog. My German Shepherds are not doing anything, so I'm not sure about the white fluffy dog.
No, maybe it's in my room. Who knows? But my dogs aren't doing anything either. But anyway, we've got some very tuned in people in here. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And John Edith, thank you so much. You're such a beautiful friend. You really are. You know, I'm so blessed to have met you. It's been a couple of years now, hasn't it?
It has. Been lovely.
Yeah, you're an amazing person, and I just love you so much because you're just so down to earth, and you just don't get carried away with, you know, the whole woo-woo land. And sometimes we can do that, but you know, you're just so down to earth, and this is who you are. It's not. You know, it's not just something you do. It's truly who you are, and that's a big energy difference.
It is, yeah. It's ingrained in you, so it's just it's just humbling. It's really the coolest job in the world that you could possibly do, and I've scored it, so I'm very happy.
Yeah. Beautiful. So thank you so much, and thank you everybody for tuning in. If you've come on late, go back and watch the replay. You know, we might get on there in the replay and you know, answer a few questions too. So we'll see how we go. So thank you, Johnita, and thank you everybody for
joining. Nice to meet everybody.
Beautiful. Let me